Call the meeting to order. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by the board in preparation of the 2022 annual meeting notice, which sets forth the date, time, and place of this meeting, and by properly posting such notice and forwarding the notice to those designated newspapers and persons requesting meeting notices. Please be advised this is a non-smoking building. Fire exits are to my right, your left, and the back of the room. This is a scheduled meeting of the planning board. There may be other meetings currently running simultaneously with this meeting. If you're not here from the Summit Planning Board, your meeting may be upstairs or elsewhere in the building. All right, let's do our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's funny how that brings back third grade school to me. I don't know why. Anyway.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. So thank you all for being here tonight. I know it's a short meeting, but we wanted to make sure that our applicant was here last week, for 57 DeForest. Wasn't held up by having the resolution postponed until December, to the December meeting. And so that's really why we're here. But we do have some other business to do as well. So we have, I guess we'll look at that resolution first, since that's what's on our agenda. 57 Forest Avenue. And anybody have any comments?
Can I take the roll first?
Oh, yeah, why don't we do that? That's a good one. I don't know why I always forget to do that, but anyway, we'll take the roll.
Okay. Chairman Anderson?
Here, I think.
Ms. Balson Alvarez is expected but not present. Mr. Brinkerhoff?
Here.
Mr. Delory?
Here.
Councilmember O'Sullivan?
Here.
Ms. McNeil? Here. Vice Chair Zucker?
Here.
Mr. Bell?
Here.
Mr. Formicelli?
Here.
Mr. Stern?
Here.
Okay.
And we've given the professionals the night off, since there really is not much to talk about this evening as far as that goes. So we'll take a look at the resolution for 57 DeForest Avenue. It's a long one, but very thorough. Steve is always very, very thorough. And does anyone have any thoughts, comments, or otherwise that we want to pass on to Steve? I had one question, but it's not something that is, I don't think that critical. On page 6, the bottom of item 13, where he's talking about at the last sentence in the first paragraph at the top, says cities right-of-way on DeForest Avenue, semicolon, and stipulated to the use of a key box or Knox box for emergency vehicle access to the property. The Knox box is essentially access to the building. So I guess I'm parsing, it's not really access to the property. So I'm not sure that really matters. We could pass that on to Steve potentially and see if he wanted to make any changes, but I doubt he would. I think it's important for us to vote on this tonight. And I just don't think that's something that's, worth making any changes to. I thought it was interesting that that our street light was prone to malfunction. I know that was said in the testimony last time. This is page 8. That was sort of entertaining to me that it got into the resolution. If you can find humor in a resolution, maybe it's there, right? And always find his resolutions very instructive as you get towards the back of it, when he's starting to talk about municipal land use law and whether things are substantial detriment prong or a substantial impairment prong.
I have one question.
Sure.
Also on page 8, it states, as was said, that no comments have been received at that time from the Historic Preservation Commission. Have any been received subsequently?
I don't know. Stephanie or Matt?
No.
No. Okay, good. All right. Well, obviously, I think, with the ORC zone and the intent to preserve the home, I think that's pretty much, you know, right up their alley, right? Yeah. The home that's the office, the family office that's just slightly down the street, coming into town on the same side of the street, they did a marvelous job on that building as well. Very much appreciate what they've done there.
You mean 51, the forest?
Is that the one,
Yeah, I think
51?
Yes.
that's one you
Is
referred
that
to. Yeah,
renovation?
yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah, they really did a nice job on that. Yep. All right. Well, that's all observations I had, looking at this one. Anybody else have any questions, thoughts, or ideas with regard to the resolution? Could I get a motion to approve then?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thanks, Jay, and a second somewhere? Paul, how about a second, or Alan, a second? Okay, good. All right, great. All right, thanks, everyone. I guess we need to do a vote there as well on that.
Okay, are we going to do a roll call vote?
I think probably for a resolution, we probably should.
Okay. Chairman Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Brinkerhoff?
Yes.
Mr. Delory,
Yes.
Councilmember O'Sullivan?
Yes.
Ms. McNeil? Yes. Vice Chair Zucker?
Abstain?
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mr. Formicelli?
Yes.
Mr. Stern?
Yes.
Okay. The motion carries.
Great, thanks. All right, so then we have another resolution for withdrawal here from our 77 Broad Street. The applicant, of course, was here last meeting. To remind people, this was the site that had the long, relatively narrow lot that was
Who's the cut there?
proposing to be subdivided. And so this applicant wants to withdraw without prejudice the application at this time. Anybody have any comments or any questions about that?
Are they withdrawing completely? Because were they going to do some more work and come back?
Well, that was what they intended to do, as I recall, and perhaps come back in December. But I don't know whether Stephanie or you or Matt or anybody has any more information about this. They can certainly withdraw without prejudice and come back at any time. I think there's a limit of 2 years, something to that effect, when they withdraw without prejudice before they have to renotice it.
Oh, they
Yeah.
definitely have to renew.
Yeah. So I don't know the answer to that, Paul, I'm not sure. But if they intended to come back on December 21st, they would not have need to go through this process of withdrawing the resolution, developing a resolution and preparing and having withdrawn. So I may have if anybody has any comments, questions, ideas, we'll just go ahead and entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
And a second. Second. Okay, Paul, thanks. All right, so we've gotten through those two resolutions.
Do you want me to do the roll call, or?
Yes, we should do a roll call, absolutely.
Okay, Chairman Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Brinkerhoff?
Yes.
Mr. Delory,
Yes.
Councilmember O'Sullivan?
Yes.
Ms. McNeil? Yes. Vice Chair Zucker?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
I have recused myself on this issue.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Formicelli?
Yes.
Mr. Stern?
Yes.
Okay, the motion carries.
All right, good, excellent, thank you. Well, moving right along, we then have our meeting minutes from that meeting on the 24th. And anybody have any comments or questions with regard to those minutes?
I think I was here last meeting.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Did I?
Okay, maybe not, then maybe we need to
Oh,
add
I'm
that.
sorry.
No worries.
Okay, good. I had spent just a minute with Stephanie before everybody came in, and we kind of went over the meeting minutes. This is really her first full set of meeting minutes in her first meeting, which I think you did a great job.
Thank
So
you.
thanks for doing that.
That's right, was I here for this?
There's a couple minor thoughts and questions that I had, but anybody else like to go first? One of the things I mentioned to Stephanie was if we go down to the third paragraph, and some people may or may not agree with me on this, go down to the third paragraph, the third line down, the end of the third line, where it says a handicap parking spot on the left side of her driveway. What I was suggesting that Stephanie do is use, the orientation for the compass, since our drawing should have north arrows on them, so the west side, east side, north side, south side, I think, just to be a little clearer, that's all. And going down to the, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th, 6th paragraph, Mr. Doerr, third sentence, I guess, Mr. Doerr suggested any issues with percolation arising could warrant a system that would allow an overflow into the catch basin in the street. I remember him saying something like that, but it was very confusing to me. So I was going to ask Stephanie to sort of clarify that with Chris Doerr, because I don't think we really, allow or permit, unless it's, extreme situation or unusual situation or pre-existing condition, allowing overflow into the local catch basins. So if you could just check on that, Stephanie, I think that'd be good.
Okay.
Then moving along to the third page, anyone else have any questions on the second page there? Moving on to the third page, going down to the third paragraph. This is a situation where we had these plans, right? We had a set of plans that there was a drawing on the plans, but of a house, but there wasn't supposed to be a drawing, and it wasn't supposed to be a house there, so, don't look at it, if you recall that kind of conversation. So I thought it was actually helpful to have it there, but the attorney representing the applicant, wanted to be sure that we weren't really reading too much into that. So my suggestion would be to revise these couple of sentences to say there's no construction proposed at this time, and scratch out, and the plans as a dwelling to be created. It is depicted on the plan for informational purposes, but not in existence. I would strike all of that. So it would say there's no construction proposed at this time, and it would move to witnesses providing testimony for this application were sworn in. That would be my suggestion on that, because that was kind of a confusing thing that, given that he is at least withdrawn for this period of time without prejudice, I don't think we need to get into something that's, what's confusing to begin with,
The only thing I would add is, wouldn't you keep the balance of that first sentence? There is no construction, I agree with your point, but
Yeah.
the second half of that sentence is, and on the plans is a dwelling lot to be created. So the plans did indicate
Yeah.
a subdivision, and
Yes.
therefore a new lot.
I was thinking when it said dwelling, I was thinking of that drawing of the house, Jay.
Right.
But I think you're right. This does, it does say.
It
the
refers
plans-
to the lot, I think.
Yeah, it does, as a dwelling lot to be created.
Right,
Yeah, thanks. You're right.
If you kept that, but then made your edit.
Yeah, I think that's
Does
good.
that work for you?
Yes, yeah, no, it does better than that, it's correct. Perfect, thanks. Going down to the fourth paragraph, again, the question with regard to orientation in the first sentence of the fourth paragraph. Ms. McFall residing at 18 Dayton Road indicated, located on the left of the lot, I would just say, I don't know whether it's at east, I think it's to the east, maybe, raised concerns about the drainage issues. And then the paragraph below that, Mr. Warner and Ms. Burgess questioned Mr. Bonner regarding the lot area. I would like to delete that sentence that says the width of the proposed subdivision is unavailable because the house is only proposed, not built. So I think if you just drop that out and it said Mr. Warner, Mr. Burgess questioned Mr. Bonner regarding lot area. In lieu of not being able to provide answers to these questions, Mr. Bonner requested to carry the meeting to do more work on this project. And so I think that would sort of nicely wrap that one up.
Bill, may I make a suggestion there
Sure.
as well?
Yeah,
On
absolutely.
that paragraph, I think the reference here is to Warner and Burgess, and yes, they did. But I think I think it should reflect that the planning board members asked questions and raised some concerns. I'm not sure that I would say raised concerns, but I think it says Warner and Burgess questioned. In addition, members of the planning board
Yeah, sure.
raised
That's true.
questions,
Yeah.
at least use the word questions.
Oh, ab-
Concerns,
yeah,
maybe
absolutely.
is a pejorative term, but,
That's what occurred. That's
and
correct.
then, that's, I think, what occurred. And
Yeah,
then the attorney requested to carry.
Yeah.
I just,
so Mr. Warner, Mr. Burgess, and the board questioned Mr. Bonner regarding lot area. In lieu of not being able to provide answers to these questions, they punt it. No, Mr. Bonner requested to carry the meeting to do more work on this project. Okay, I think that's the right answer there. Thanks, Jay.
Yeah, we'll have to- Well, let's see if that's something that's not going to waive anyway.
Okay, so if we're okay with the corrections that have been made by Jay and I, and anybody else have any more thoughts, questions? Oh,
Also, my
John?
name was as an attendee, but I wasn't.
That's right, you were not here, and that's why you basically had to
Sorry about that.
That's why I abstained the vote.
abstain.
Gotcha.
Correct, yep. Yep, thanks. All right, okay. Thanks, Stephanie.
Thank you.
So, can I have a motion to approve the minutes as amended?
So moved.
Thanks, Jay. And Ellen? What do you think? Second? Okay, great, thanks. I'm spreading around the joy tonight. Okay, so
Should we do a voice vote?
I think we just do a voice vote for meeting minutes will be fine, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'll abstain since I was recused on the second.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. All right, so we have two little topics here at the bottom. We have RFQ requests and responses, RFPs. I know that I don't think we really have to make a decision on this, I think, if I'm right, Matt, until next meeting. I think we have the ability to spend a little more time if we'd like to individually. I've read through them. As best I can tell, and I think, Stephanie, we got 4 planners, Typology, Burgess, Neglia, and Harbor Consultants, and then engineers, we got Neglia, Harbor Consultants, and Colliers, Mazer. And then I saw one law firm, which was Saville Schalk, Steve Warner's law firm. Is that correct?
Yes, I have the hard copies over there too, in case anyone wants to take a look.
Okay, thanks for bringing those. So we're going to go into an executive session, I guess, at this point, right? To have any conversations about this. I think that's appropriate. And so I guess we'll, so if we go into an executive session, we have to ask essentially the public to leave. Is there something, you here for a reason tonight?
Well, I guess planning board meetings don't draw much of a crowd, but.
No.
No.
Sometimes.
No, I'm just curious, honestly. I work
Sure.
as a commercial real estate broker with JLL.
Okay,
Honestly curious about, the process of how these kind of things
Yeah.
work. I live in Mountainside,
Yeah.
so.
Can you tell me your name? I think we've-
Council meeting, I think you were speaking, Matt, on the.
I think we've
affordable
met
housing,
before.
so.
I think we've met before somewhere. We have a couple of real estate folks on this dais, and I think we may have met before, perhaps somewhere along. I do a lot of business with JLL over the years.
JLL.
He's at JLL
Paul
also.
Formicelli.
Yeah,
New York office, yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
In Parsippany
Yeah,
or?
well, I've hung out in Parsippany plenty of times, but in New York is where I'm based.
Okay, what do you do? Are you PDS or?
No, I'm on the tenor representation,
Okay.
so,
What was your name?
Paul Formicelli,
Paul Formicelli.
ask Dan Laughlin.
Oh,
Chris
yeah,
Conlon.
I
I'm one of the old Staubach guys.
Oh, yeah, I know him well. Good guy.
So I suggest you come on a night when we got some action.
but you're always welcome, but when we go into these executive sessions, we have to, it's just board members only.
Yep, no,
But
understand.
come back anytime.
The
I think-
website does show, the website just says what our agendas are each week though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I read the agenda, but,
Okay.
failed to understand it, so.
We'll have more, a little bit richer agenda next December. And the December meeting we have 2 applications, at least 2 that I'm aware of, on
One.
the
We have
agenda.
one.
It's come down to 1 now, but we have an application there. So, I think are we live broadcast, Matthew, on YouTube, when we have a
Good question.
full
I believe
meeting?
we do, yes. When there's a public hearing on the agenda, that's when there's the back and forth and people are presenting
Yeah.
and the board is making a decision. It should also be noted, we will not be making a decision coming out of executive session.
Right, yes.
So you wouldn't be missing anything. Where
Right.
a lot of times when you go to executive session, you come back to hear any decision being made. Boards are allowed to go into executive session under a number of circumstances, one of which are contract negotiations, litigation, et cetera. So we put out to the public that we have a request for proposals for attorney, planner, board professionals, engineer, and the board reserves the right to go into executive session, or else we would be giving our cards away by talking in
Right.
public about our position, so
Right.
that's
Yeah.
why we're doing that.
And I was curious, do votes have to be unanimous or?
No,
No.
not at all, no.
Majority?
Yeah, yeah, simple
Majority of a quorum. So-
Yeah.
Of what?
We need 5 members, minimum of 5 members to function in order to make a decision. And we
Two
have
people
a,
showed up, you couldn't vote on something. There wouldn't be enough people to have the authority of
Right.
the board, basically.
the board consists of 11 members, and you can see that on the website, 11 members. 2 of them are alternates rather. And we have a consultants that were usually with us, both from a planner perspective and engineering perspective, and the board has an attorney who sits down there next to Rick as well. So it's all volunteers. Jeff, did you live in Mountainside?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, well, you can't fill out a form and come and volunteer to be on this board, but if you want to move to Summit, we'll take your application.
Maybe one day.
Pick a seat.
Appreciate it. I'll let you continue.
What
All
was
right.
your name again, by the way?
Alex,
Alex?
I'll reach out.
Okay.
All right,
Have a good night.
Take
all right,
care.
Alex. Yeah, don't do any bad deals. Okay, so, all right, so do we close the door at all if we go into executive session?
We're not supposed to close the door.
All right, okay, well, there's nobody out there, so that's good. Nobody eavesdropped.